Hey DC students, this is Mr. Pethtel coming here to you from my back porch in Springboro. Just want to wish everybody a great Good Friday and a happy Easter coming up. I hope you've enjoyed all the Spiritual Emphasis Week videos that everybody's contributed. And today I just want to give you a few thoughts from my heart to all of you. I want to tell you guys we love you, we care about you, we miss you a great deal. And all of your teachers, as we get together, we're praying for you every day. And I want to thank all of you for doing all your lessons online and your teachers for all their great work. Today, I'd like to talk to you devotionally about just some ideas from my life, some things that I went through as a young man, as a student, and tell you a little bit about how God brought me to the point where I am today. So I, like many of you, grew up in a Christian home. My parents went to church from the time I was about 8 years old, and it was first my mom, and then my dad started to go to church a few years later, and we got very involved. I got involved with youth group, got to go to a lot of great VBS, Vacation Bible Schools, and camps and other things. Went to church really every Sunday. I mean, I even remember that when I went to my junior prom in high school, my dad said that you can go and you can stay out much later than you usually do at night on your prom date. But the next morning, being a Sunday, you have to go to church with us and you have to sit right on the front row. And I remember how I felt. I remember how tired I was. And I remember my dad literally digging his elbow in my side in order to keep me awake during that sermon. And I remember that sermon. That sermon was one about the love of God in Jesus Christ and how much Christ loved us. So much so that he went to the cross to die for us and to bring us to new life with him and life everlasting in heaven. And so with that, I want to talk to you about just how I came to faith. I came to faith in my college years. You see, I was going to church. I was focusing on the things of God. I would even defend God in debates with other college students and other people in my fraternity house, and even on the athletic team I was part of. I was a wrestler in college. But you see, I didn't really have a deep faith in Jesus Christ. I didn't really understand that I was, in fact, a sinner at my core, that I had been born sinful from birth, that despite all the good things that I wanted to try to do in church and in my personal life and in academics and my relationships with others, I really failed to see that I was a sinner apart from the salvation that can only come through Jesus Christ. And I'll never forget sitting down with a man from Campus Crusade for Christ who was there in my hall having lunch with me, and he shared passages from the book of Romans with me. And it was in the book of Romans that I read, and it struck me for the first time that Christ died for me while I was yet a sinner, that he didn't wait for me to become perfect or do all kinds of good things in my life through going to church or going to youth group events or defending the faith with people who didn't agree with my faith in God, but that he died for me as a sinful person and one who needed salvation. And with that, I believe that day I gave my heart to Christ. I prayed that God would come into my life, that he would save me really from myself, from my own desires, from my own goals, and renew them, restore them. And that's just what God did. He took the things that I loved of sports and the things that I loved in academics, which for me was really literature and writing, and he made me a coach, and then he made me a teacher, and he brought me to the point where I am today, where I have a loving wife, a family, and a school that I get to be a part of as your principal. But more importantly, today as we come to Good Friday, and we go into this season of celebrating victory in Christ, of Easter, of a new birth, of a radical transformation of our lives. It's that I want to focus on more than anything. That as your principal, I can't claim any special grace or any special works of my own, but just solely focus on the work of Jesus Christ, the victory that we have in him. And I want to celebrate with you this is Easter season, even from afar. And today, if you'll allow me, I want to play you a little song here from my porch to all of you. sickness. I'm trading my pain. I'm laying them down for the joy of the Lord. And we sing, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Amen, amen. Well, we're pressed but not crushed, persecuted, not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. We've been blessed beyond this curse. His promise will endure. His joy is gonna be our strength. Though these sorrows may last for the night, His joy comes in the morning. And I'm trading my sorrows, and I'm trading my shame. I'm laying them down for the joy of my Lord. I'm trading my sickness. I'm trading my pain. I'm laying them down for the joy of the Lord. And we sing, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, 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 Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, 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 Lord. Amen, amen. All right, DC, thank you. Have a happy Easter. God bless you.